I love you.
Love you too.
I love you.
Love you too.
I love you.
Love you too.
Welcome back!
Welcome back to our season 2 review. Ronnie over there's got some questions from the community that we've got from Patreon and Discord. And yeah,
That was a weird sort of year, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, can't say anything's weird after that intro, man.
That intro was
what
fun.
intro are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't,
It was
I
just a
don't know.
wholesome scene.
You're just talking to talk now.
Alright, let's go questions, alright?
Alright.
So, we got Bam Bam, who asks, how did you guys think Season 2 compared to Season 1? And what did you guys maybe prefer in Season 2 compared to Season 1?
Or vice versa.
Or yeah, if you want to... I think maybe we'll save the negatives for later on, but... yeah.
We'll start with you.
Focus on the positives.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I feel like Season 2 was better than Season 1.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Elaborate.
yeah, like, for me, Season 1 felt so much like a show, right? This season felt like I was there almost. Like, I feel like that's the best way for me to describe it. It was like, and a lot more, even in less episodes, a lot more things happened with the plot got deeper.
Yeah.
Yet it wasn't just about Aaron's plot or Levi's plot, right?
Yeah.
Like, even the so-called useless characters weren't really useless, right? Like we learned-
Useless in Season 1.
yeah, useless in Season 1. Yeah, that's I should state that. Like they felt, I just felt like I was in there so much more. Like I was part of the 104th Regiment almost.
Yeah, facts.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like different characters had different scenes. Like we learned more about Sasha, Connie, and all these things. And the new animations, right? You can certainly tell the difference.
Yeah, that was
Like, I feel like that was, especially that, more so that last episode, that whole last episode, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's me.
First thing for me, the creative genius of doing this all in a 24-hour time span.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
That's
And
a good
I-
pick up. That's a good point.
And I think what that created in Season 2 was it actually, even though it was a bit shorter than Season 1, everything was very much, there was something happening every episode.
Yeah,
It kept you alert at all times. There was no point where you kind of got lullabied. But obviously there was some episodes where you had to do a little bit of listening and you had to understand what was happening. But I think compared to Season 2, I think we were more prepared as well. We understood. Now it was we overcame all of our past like prejudice we had in anime. This season we were kind of just thinking about the plot and what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out the
You
story.
got past your confirmation bias.
Yeah.
About Irwin, which I think you did get past it. So that's
We're not bringing up Irwin.
no.
Yeah, let's not bring it
I'll
up.
come
I'm just
later.
saying.
I'll come
Yeah.
later.
Something like that. But
Something like that. Yeah. All right.
but what this season allowed us to do was,
Take it in for what it is, almost.
even though nothing really has been answered yet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's allowed us to keep theorizing and actually be more involved in the story. Because I think Season 1 we were trying to understand what the hell's trying to happen here, why are the random titans just attacking. Now it's like we're actually figuring out what happens. And I think,
Wait, yeah, sorry, continue.
bro, you just make me lose my train of thought.
No, because I had like, it was a point you mentioned before. You know how you said Season 1 was a lot more lullaby than Season 2.
Yeah.
What specifically made you say that? Like, why was this season better than Season 1? Because for me, the lullaby episodes, honestly, there's truly probably one in Season 1, that training episode.
I know.
So it's like...
No. What I meant by that is I think we're understanding characters more now. So in Season 1, we were just kind of guessing on characters. Now
It's like what he's saying about every episode has a certain story to it, which is different.
Yeah.
And every episode, like,
and we're getting more information. I think it's just more information, but it's also, the ironic thing is we haven't really got any information.
Yeah.
But I think I'm learning more about characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially characters like...
We'll get into characters later.
Yeah,
we'll get into characters later, but that's a brief summary. That's good. For me, Season 2 was better purely because of what you said about how it's delving into the other characters more. Like I said, I wanted to see the intermingling of the characters. I've seen that better in Season 2, right? Characters like Hanji, things like characters like even Levi, there was a bit of a story there, right? Ymir was the main one.
Wait, didn't we watch his OVA?
Yeah, Levi, I think it's about the OVA, but yeah.
Yeah, but
we'll
it's the end of
count that
season
in.
one.
We'll count that in.
So Ymir, characters like that. It was
If we're
getting into
counting that, then
yeah. Anyway,
That Loki goes into season 1.
Yeah,
my point is it looks at other characters well and it develops them well and it showcases their story, which I love.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about season 2 for me was the twist. The twist in season 2 was insane compared to season 1. Season 1, you got a bit of twist into like with Eren dying.
I'd say
Yes, it was a big twist, but I think Reyna and Bertolt coming out. Oh, we're gonna talk about that later. But them coming out as Titans was the greatest twist I have ever
But
seen.
I purely think that's also just due to the fact that we've watched this show for longer. Like, do anything longer and a twist happens, that'll hurt more than if something happens in episode 1. Like, I feel like we truly didn't grasp how effective Eren's mum dying was. In the first episode, the MC's mum's dying.
I'd argue there was no build up there. Like we didn't really get attached to Eren's mum.
That's what I'm trying to say. It was, the reason you're saying it's purely the greatest twist is because we went through the ranks with Reyna and Bertolt, going through the camp with all these guys.
Yeah.
Like, season 1 had a lot of twists as well.
Yeah.
It just didn't hit us, I guess, as hard.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like Ronnie probably felt some of those twists more after watching it back. I feel like it's gonna be like that.
It was because
You know what I mean?
it was because like for example for season 2 we grew to love the characters more.
No,
They gave us the opportunity.
you know what else
to
happened?
love us then more.
If we go back and look at most of the episodes, we had long ass discussions because realistically, it's a shorter season, so it had less filling stuff. In season 1, sometimes that's what I said. It was a lot was happening, but it also wasn't. This one, because it was so short, it was fast paced, and there was less fillers. So they were throwing a lot of stuff at us.
That once again comes down to the creative genius of the 24 hours.
Yeah, so I think
That
that
24 hours has done so much.
created like every episode. It felt like it's like some new dramatic thing was happening that we could theorize on. That's why I think going to season 3, low key, it's going to be a little bit more like season 1. They're going to build it up a little bit more, answer more stuff. And we're going to have a little bit more listening and a little more fillers that they're going to have because this is 25 episodes.
I just want more
right?
twists. I just want more twists. Season 2, greatest.
How many
twist.
episodes is season 3 run?
Season 3 is like 22,
Yeah.
something like that. I agree with everything you guys just said. Like, they gave you a chance to look at other characters except for like the main ones.
Yeah.
Right? And you actually got to like develop that connection with them. So like, you remember in season 1, like, all these characters were dying. You felt kind of bad, but you were like,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
really care. Like maybe Petra and like Marco.
Petra, I was sad.
Petra and Marco had a big impact, but you didn't really get to know them.
Yeah,
but now I feel like you're more invested in so many other characters, like Bertolt, Reyna, Ymir, Historia, especially those 4. They carried the season.
Yeah.
Think about it first.
I don't think like for this season we can't actually say there's one main character. I didn't think that.
No, absolutely
Because
not.
we didn't really look at Eren that much. It was all about like holistic approach to the show, which I love.
Because think about it. First, like I remember I was saying it during the reactions, bro. Like the first 6 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see Eren, Armin. There was literally no Levi that season.
And it was better than the first 6 of episode 1, season 1, I'd say.
For me, this season was better only because of all the foreshadowing moments. Because like you guys wouldn't have picked it up, but there's so many like
We did like
a little
we were
bit.
just throwing shit at the
For
wall.
example, like
we didn't actually like have any cohesive
episode 5, like there was so many moments. Like there was a conversation between Bertolt, Ryan, and the rest of the team, right? And Connie asked Bertolt, he's like, "Oh, has Ryan always been like this?" And Bertolt goes, "Oh, he was more of a warrior before."
Yeah.
Oh,
And stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And when
yeah.
the tower's falling down in episode 5,
Yeah.
Bertolt's about to bite his hand. You can see it. Like there's literally a frame.
Oh, really?
The tower's going down. It's like falling down. He's about to bite his hand and like turn.
Was this in episode 5?
Episode 5.
When
Before the reveal.
Ymir...
Ymir was like bringing down the tower.
Oh, when they were up there.
Bertolt was literally about to bite his
This is
finger.
why I like you
It's
want to like. If
crazy.
we go back and watch it, we're gonna pick up on so much
Yeah,
stuff.
and the thing is, you cannot pick this up on a first time.
I saw
so it's like
that's the beautiful thing of this community as well. I saw a comment on Patreon about the red herring. How Reyna
The fish,
tin, the tin of Ymir, right? It was a red herring, right? A fish. Reyna would only know that being outside the wall.
because they don't know about
They
the
don't know
sea
about
and
the
stuff.
sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
so you guys were sussing
Bro,
the
like-
wrong
I
thing.
saw the
You were-
writing.
Yeah, you were sussing a little bit of the wrong. but it makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
That's I saw that comment. I was like, oh my god, like this. That was crazy.
There's a lot more. I'll explain it in my character moments.
Yeah, let's go to the next segment.
All right. Next question is by Sean, and he asks, "What are your guys' predictions surrounding Annie, Reyna, and Bertolt's true story, and why they're doing what they're doing despite hating themselves for it?"
Well, let's just start with Annie. I'll start with Annie.
Yeah.
So you reckon they're different? Firstly,
Sorry.
you reckon all their motives are different? Every single one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's go with Annie. So I think Annie. So she's been in the crystal the whole of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when she wakes up, I think she's gonna be on the good team. I think out of Reyna, Bertolt, and Annie, I think
I disagree, but
there'll be 2 out of the 3 that end up helping. Actually,
Yeah, you're just thinking. Because let me pose it this way: what reason does Annie have to change except for Armin, basically, or like a bit of good as she's seen in people?
No.
But listen, Rainer and Bertolt, like Rainer's already conflicting, right? We've already seen that. Annie might do that internally, but we don't know because we haven't seen any. What I'm trying to say is we haven't seen any like flashbacks or memories of Rainer and Bertolt, right? Like they're so much more conflicted on the human side. Look, with Annie, we saw her dad, right? Like her dad's the reason she's doing this mission almost. We haven't seen that reason for Rainer and Bertolt.
No, wait. What makes you say her dad's the reason she's doing it?
The flashback we had on
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the solely reason.
What I'm trying to say is that's more to go off than Rainer and Bertolt right now.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
do you remember? I think can't forget how they first introduced Annie, right? And the whole scene of Annie teaching Eren. I think that's a bit of a foreshadowing moment, perhaps, that we see later on. That her motive at the start. Why would she even help Eren? Why would she try to wake up Eren? Because and then so when she finds out that Eren's actually unleashed his power and she understands that this is what he's capable of, I think she's against the people that are controlling her. So I think when she realizes, Eren's actually...
What gives you that thing that she's against people that's controlling? Because I see the opposite because of her dad.
So,
but that gets to my point.
I think the way she was still trying to help Eren and wake Eren up and like show him the ways of how to fight and like even the scene where she
didn't know he was a Titan.
Exactly. She was shocked. Wasn't she shocked?
I guess she was still being a good person and helping him.
She was still being a good person helping, and then the way she like looked at him from the table and looked up at him, and even her encounter with the other guy in the military police.
Marlo.
Yeah, Marlo. I think when she realized Eren's capability and they actually have a chance to defeat the people higher ups, the people that control her, I think she will go join them.
But what's your theory behind it? I know we've talked about this a bit, but what do you think is what was the question again?
The main thing he said is the way she treated Eren.
But I think
the way she treated Eren is a good point.
Actually, you know what? I want to retake all that thing because I think that part where she laughs and she's like, finally she can be herself. I think maybe that's actually the true self as well. So I think maybe Rainer's the only one, but even Bertolt showing.
So what's your answer? Is it Annie? Is it Rainer? Is it Bertolt?
What was the question? I forgot the question.
What's their true story and why are they doing what they're doing?
True story. You're just talking about something like
completely different.
Give me a theory.
What are you saying? Like, just
give me a reason. If not, you go.
All right. Let me say my point. Right. So, they've almost got this Titanhood pact, and they're forced to work for the government.
You need to stop saying Titanhood, man.
Like, all right, that's what I'm calling it. They're forced to work for the government because, like, for example, you know how we found out that being a Titan makes you immortal. That's my understanding of it anyway. Yeah. So what these guys have done is their fathers or whoever they've been influenced by, or if they've been influenced themselves, they've taken this magical blood of the king or whatever it is, and then they turn themselves into Titans because they want immortality, right? So their whole notion is if all of humanity is turned into a Titan, then everybody's immortal, everybody's eternal.
Is this the government's idea or Annie, Rainer, Bertolt?
Both. I think it's both. So then that means
but you just mentioned the dads and then you mentioned the government. Which one is it?
The dads are passed down. Like the dads are like they're playing the role of the government in a way. In the household, you're not gonna have the government come into someone's house and inject the kids, right? What I mean is the dads are also like they're with that government. They're with that whoever that pact is.
But do you think so they're not higher ups then?
No, I don't think the dads are higher.
So then my question is then, what makes Eren, Annie, Rainer, Bertolt, Ymir, what makes them special? Because we don't know any other Titan that can transform from a human into a Titan, right? Yeah. Every other random Titan we see, all these Aberrants, all these Titans, that even the ones Eren's control, why don't they turn back to humans, right?
I don't know if they do or don't. I feel like
we would have known by now.
I feel like who's who in the zoo. The thing here is, right, everybody is sus.
Right,
everybody.
Okay, yeah, sure, but the random little short midget Titans running around, we know they're humans, right? Or we're speculating, right?
I think everybody's a human.
Yeah, but do you think they can transform back every single one of them?
I think not consciously. Like, you know how, for example,
Ymir, she had her first kill and transformed back.
Yeah.
How many of them had their first kill and didn't transform back?
They might have, but in a different location. Who knows?
In War Marine, okay, when scouts were taking back the walls, right?
Yeah.
They killed multiple Titans, and those are the Titans that invaded War Marine at the start, right? Yeah. And killed the 250,000 people that even went after them.
I'm following.
You know what I mean?
But the time interval might be different. Like, for example, they might have not transformed back into a human then, but they might eventually.
Bro, this is just...
I'm just theorizing. That's what I
yeah,
think.
No,
but-
I realized upon thinking about my Annie point, because I could see both sides. I think another thing that we have to remember with Annie, she actually knew how to fight like well with her Titan form.
What is Rhino?
So did
Exactly. No, exactly. So I think there's no such thing as good or bad. So when I was thinking about her story and who Annie is, I think she's fighting for, even though she shows respect to her comrades like I showed with Eren, and she still shows admiration for him for guys like Armin and stuff, but she's still willing to, for example, kill people and stuff, right? In that part of her like team almost. So I think that shows she's
let me get
she's
into
got
my
a
point.
greater motivation for something.
No. So
Let me get into my point.
okay, you go first. Yeah.
Out of those three, I think Annie's most dedicated to the mission, right?
Yes.
I agree, yeah.
I think Annie's the most dedicated to the mission.
I agree.
I pretty firm on that, right? Because
I agree.
right,
Yeah.
and I know I've said this a few times, but that's secret society almost of the dads. You know how you're talking about the government, right?
Yeah.
They got to be somewhere involved because of Lord Reese and Historia and the history of the wars or
Yeah,
whatever. I don't
yeah.
know what that link is with the humans becoming Titans or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the government is obviously fishy.
Yeah.
The dads, I think, are a higher power than the government. Alright? I
Yeah.
think the dads are a higher power of the government. Because the government's not giving control to random dads, or at least right now we know dads, or like
Well, they might be part of the government.
Why is
We don't
Ymir,
know.
Reiner, Bertolt, Annie hand selected? Why are they the special?
The chosen.
Eren, why is Eren so special? It's because of his dad, I think. Right? It's the dads are special. It's not them.
There might be aberrants in the sense that, for example, that blood might have affected everybody differently. Like Eren it might have affected Eren differently. Might have affected, and they might just be like the, you know what I mean, the top of the.
What makes them special?
An
That's what
outline.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because we know this. So you agree with me that they're special now? Yes, you agree that they're special.
Well, obviously they're
Yeah.
special. You can't
Yeah,
argue.
they're
But
special.
he was saying before they were all humans, lions,
No,
humans.
I think every Titan can turn into a human, but they are special in the sense that they have something different, like to the point that they can actually control it and understand it better. Like, for example, all the other Titans might turn back into humans, right?
Yeah.
But they probably wouldn't know how to control it. They probably would like lose their memory about them killing like humans and stuff.
They also lost their memory when they kill sometimes.
Yeah, but see how they can recall it now? Like slowly they're understanding how, like for
Like,
example,
you
Ymir
mean-
can handpick when she can turn into a Titan.
But she
now.
didn't know when she killed Reiner's mate. She didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. So over time, she became more
Yeah, but-
wise.
Bro, I'm
These
actually gonna be honest. These
Wait,
questions
wait,
are
wait.
too hard to answer.
But
Like,
listen.
that's a good question.
Wait. But there's Titans out there who are older than Ymir, Eren, who have been there for hundreds
It's not
of
about
years.
old. It's like
But you just said it's about experience.
It's not just experience. It's like these people are just like aberrants in the Titan world. Like meaning they're just like the chosen few that the blood has affected them
So
differently.
you think it's because of the blood?
Yeah, the way that they've reacted to the blood,
I don't know where you're getting blood from, but
the blood that they injected. I think it's blood anyway,
Alright.
or whatever it is, blood or serum or whatever you
bro,
want.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm actually zoning out like crazy. I actually don't like.
You've already answered what you needed to answer.
No. But even to how to answer that question, how can you even theorize? All we know about Annie, Bertolt, and Reiner, they've got an out bigger mission, and that's this. And like
So that's your theory,
they have a fighting school, or not a fighting school. They learn how to fight. All three of them learn how to fight and control their Titans in wherever they come from.
But
Besides,
Ymir didn't learn how to. Oh,
no, I'm talking about Bertolt, Annie, and like realistically, what else can you theorize? The only thing we can get,
Let's move. I think we've done enough.
and the only thing
theorizing
you
for
can get out of that is it looks like Reiner and Bertolt, they might flake their mission and
Yeah,
join the comp. Like that,
maybe.
realistically, above
Who
that,
knows? Who
like,
knows?
there is the how are we meant to know?
That's why it
anything
was
else?
just quick, succinct theory
No,
of what we think.
no,
That's
but
all it is.
yeah,
Next question.
Even creating a theory is difficult.
Yeah, bro, you
Yeah, I
can't.
know.
You can't even create.
Well, let's just create one. That's the point of the
No,
questions.
Alright, we'll go on to the next
I don't
one.
think you
Next-
can.
next- next question.
I don't
Go.
think-
Alright, so the next question is, why do you guys think Eren couldn't use the power to control the Titans before the final episode?
Well, I think I'll go first. I think it all comes down to how he activates his power, right?
Yeah.
Every scene we've seen has been a necessity, right? And the one scene we saw where it wasn't a necessity, it failed. The hardening of the skin, right? This was almost like peak necessity moment. Like, you go back to the Annie fight, no one was really in danger. It was just him versus her, basically, right? And as we know, he does care about himself, but it's like he more so cares about Mikasa and Armin and these other guys, right? Like we've seen that from the way he protects them. He didn't want them to go survey call. In that scene, it was like there was 10 Titans behind him. Mikasa just like gave all her emotions out. She thought she was gonna die there, basically.
Yeah.
Armin's like fighting off 3 Titans like this, saving Sean. He just saw Hannes die in front of him, and I don't think he transformed in Hannes because he was still recovering. His energy was low.
Yeah.
He was also in shock, right?
Yeah.
This in that exact moment, it was like Mikasa's like I can't let her down, basically almost.
Okay.
And he's like, we're not gonna die today.
Yeah.
And his full power, which I think is his full power, came out.
Yeah. Do you think it's interesting that when the Beast Titan was controlling all the Titans?
He was in Titan form. He's in human form. I was gonna bring that up before.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know what it is, but that's interesting.
I'll go. I think we've seen from the start, from the first episode, Eren is a very emotional character, right? So I think what we've seen from here, even though when he put his arm out to save Mikasa and Armin in like season 1, he needs a very high emotional trigger and like an act of desperation, and then he reacts to situations and unleashes his power.
Yeah.
So for example, even here, he needed to see seeing Hannes die, and basically him and Mikasa possibly dying with all these Titans around. He needed to conjure up something. So I don't think he understands his power yet, but he needs an emotional response, and it needs to be like a necessity for him to do
So
it.
same thing as what he's saying.
Basically same.
Wait. One question. Is his power scalable depending on how emotional he is? Like or is it more so the necessity of the action? Because he just needed to stop the cannon.
No. I think because this was the true final form. This is his, because he had Mikasa. He's like basically the thing he cares about the most.
Yeah.
Because that was in harm. That elicited the greatest emotional trigger response, because that was the thing he needs to protect the most. So and to protect the thing he needs most, his biggest trigger, his biggest power came out to protect his biggest asset.
And do you guys think he's gonna need that sort of emotion again to do the same thing, or?
Yes. I think so.
No, it's gonna be easier. Because think about it, right?
I think now it's gonna be later on. It's gonna be about him understanding and using it.
Okay.
To direct it towards a specific thing.
For me, I agree that the fact that Eren has only transformed when it's been necessary so far. Yeah. However, I still think Eren, with enough discipline, enough training, enough experience, can actually voluntarily turn into a Titan like the others. For example, Annie.
Wait, voluntarily turn into a Titan or use that power?
I agree with that.
And use that power.
He can already voluntarily turn into a Titan.
No, he can't.
Actually, no,
That goes against what you just said. You said it's only necessity, right? So I think voluntarily he can actually do that over time, like Annie and the others. He just needs a bit more training and a bit more time. Right now, I understand it's only necessity. That's funneling everything, right?
Yeah.
The power of being able to control other Titans, though, I think that's only specific to him. Like we said, he's the coordinate, right?
What about the Beast Titan then?
I don't think even the Beast Titan, because Eren is that rare. That's the reason why. That's the reason why people hold him to that standard. You know what I mean? I think he's the only person that's actually got that ability. So, over time, experience, training, he just didn't have that at the start. That's my answer.
I agree with the fact. That he can use that. Right now, it's come out.
Yeah.
And then he will learn to just use that voluntarily, because he knows the power that he has.
Do you reckon that then goes hand with your theory on how he's gonna break away? And do you reckon his own army is gonna be Titans now, basically then? To add, you know how you said he's going to realize the Survey Corps can't give him that experience and training to harness it, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to go off on his own. Do you
I think so, something like that, because he's going to realize. I think so.
I don't think he's going to go to a specific place to get that. I think it just happens over time when he's doing it. When he keeps doing it, it'll just.
Because they're already training him right now, right?
I think we're gonna see a major shift when he actually learns everything about who he is. Because right now, think of it, in every scene in season 2 right now, he's still figuring, he's just like us. And then when everything clicks, then he's going to be like, oh.
Yeah.
And then something drastic is going to happen.
Exactly, facts.
I have another thing on what you said, right? You know how you said Mikasa's his main thing is to protect his major asset? I think his freedom for him is more important than
100%. I was going to say that as well.
No, I think
he overlooks...
Maybe subconsciously might be Mikasa, but what he portrays...
No, I think subconsciously is his freedom.
Right?
Because think about that...
Because he neglected her. When she gave all that...
he didn't.
It wasn't a neglection. He acknowledged it, right? But he wasn't doing it for Mikasa.
Think about the post-credits. The post-credits we watched in season 2, right? At the end.
Yeah,
what was the scene? what's
Yeah.
past the sea.
Yeah.
He doesn't even care about the sea.
Yeah.
The sea was the main thing that Armin sold him on.
Facts.
He doesn't even care about the sea.
Facts.
The main thing he holds is his freedom.
That was actually
That's
that was actually meant to be a preview of episode 1 of season 3. By the way, we kind of messed up.
That's
Well, I kind
fine.
of messed up.
It's
but
fine.
Yeah, it's not a big
No,
deal.
I actually think he doesn't want the freedom if it's not with Mikasa.
No, I don't think he cares for
I
her.
don't
Like she
think-
cares for him.
I don't think
He doesn't care for her like she
and
cares
it's
for
going to
him.
go to the overarching thing of only person he really has left is Mikasa. Really.
Yeah, he might realize that later on, but I still think right now, all he truly... Obviously, it's not like... I'm not saying freedom's here, Mikasa's here. It's probably like this, right? But there's still a 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's the
You know
one
what I
is
mean?
freedom.
He doesn't want the. He doesn't. I think he doesn't want the freedom if it's not with Mikasa.
All right. I think
Okay,
we'll
let's
leave that there.
we'll
All
leave that there. Let's move on.
right. What are you guys' theories about the Beast Titan's true identity?
Yeah.
And how do you think his introduction changes the stakes for all the rest of the characters?
Wait, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know much about the Beast Titan. Let's keep it short and brief.
No.
Let's hear what- yeah.
I'll say.
Things to talk.
All right. I'll say a few things that we've only realized about the Beast Titan, right? So first thing, big man talks, and he talked intriguingly. He was interested in the ODM gear. That scene, he can control the Titans in a way where it looked like.
Just say you can control the Titan.
No. But like the way there's that scene that I remember I mentioned during
Why
the
not
reaction
Eren?
as well.
What about Eren then? Why Eren doing this and them all charging at one Titan? Did that not look human? Like when Erwin commands his forces, he's leading at the front. Does that not look like that?
Not really. I think the way he stood from the top, the way he was doing it was like when Erwin commands an army. The way the Titans approached the castle was very much. I remember I said it was like army-like formation.
Alright, just because you said it doesn't mean you have to double down.
yeah,
So you think
exactly.
the Beast Titan controls it in a more structured manner?
Yeah,
right?
and like,
We'll leave that.
I think
Oh,
and
really?
I think that's yeah.
But
Yeah.
alright, yeah.
And I think, and then I think that, and then also his interest in the ODM gear is when he said, I remember you mentioned because he's in the line was, oh, so this is what you guys are using now, right?
Yeah.
So that's very prevalent because I think it's obviously a character we haven't seen, but it's someone that was somehow integrated in the wars previously.
Okay.
What? Oh, that's a good shout actually. Yeah, because with that line, I was thinking like he's like an old person just from outside the walls, right?
Yeah.
Maybe someone outside the walls try to stop.
No,
people.
not even that. Not even that. I think it's he knows
I
he's
know.
connected to people in the wall somehow. He's not some random geezer.
Alright, no, but I forgot the line you just said on how he might have been inside the walls before, right?
No, I don't know about that.
'cause he's
I don't think it's that. I think it's just he has a connection to someone. He has connection within the war. He knows about the stuff that goes on previously, but now he's like, oh, now these guys are using the ODM.
So now I'm saying
Yeah.
I reckon he's in the wars because he's saying that's what you guys are using now. So he must have been in the wars when humans were fighting Titans without ODM gear, right?
Yeah. So he's been,
He's an old youth. We saw
Yeah.
when he was standing on
Yeah.
top of the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
He looked much older than Reiner, Bertold, and
Yeah.
Annie, right?
Yeah.
Full beard. Did he have a beard?
Yeah,
No,
he did. He had a
blonde hair.
golden beard
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was blonde beard, blonde
Golden beard as
hair.
well.
He was chiseled to the dome,
Yeah.
right? Like he looks older.
So he's not the dad then?
No, we know that. We just saw that, didn't we?
Oh, he could be. Oh, with this show, you never
With the
know.
blonde hair.
Got
He's
blonde
literally
hair.
standing on the Titan.
Yeah,
We're assuming that that's him.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm ruling it out, but you can't rule out anything.
I'm ruling it out. I'm just that's him.
But yeah, my thing on going back again to his human thing, I think it goes to he's a lot more calm, right?
Yeah.
Like Eren, when he did this, it wasn't structured because it was emotional response,
Yeah.
right? It was like in the heat of the moment. That guy like thought of it in the moment. It was like pre-planned almost. That's why maybe it's more structured in that sense.
For me, I think he's the literal definition of an anarchist. Like he's probably lived in the jungle outside of the walls for years, right? And then but he's had the serum, so he's been outside the wall. He doesn't really care about society. He doesn't really like people. He's more like a secluded, do his own thing kind of Titan. But he just so happens to be the greatest Titan of them all. You know what I mean? It's like the Wizard of the Oz.
But I think he's the boss of Reiner, Bertolt, Annie.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard of the Oz situation.
Well,
He's-
what was the
he's
scene
main-
where
main guy.
Ymir talked about?
Yeah, no, so yeah, that was interesting. Like Ymir told Reiner, I think it's on the branches, right? She told Reiner and Bertold, she's like, "Oh, you guys look scared as hell when you saw the Beast Titan," because it's like, "Oh no, the boss is here. We messed up bad."
Yeah.
That almost kind of kicked them to go back into mission mode as well, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what like Bertold was adamant
Yeah.
on doing the mission at the branches at least.
I think the Beast Titan poses a power that not even Eren has.
No, I think
You
Eren
just
has.
said Eren.
No,
is the only
something
one.
different. No, with controlling Titans, yes, but I think he has some sort of power.
I think
that
Eren.
not
has-
even Eren poses.
No, I think Eren has more power than him.
Maybe, but I think there's
I think it's
something
the other
different.
way.
I think he has something that no other Titan has, and Aaron doesn't even.
One
have.
last thing
No,
on
I
him,
think-
Ronnie. Do you remember the line he said when he was on top of the wall? Was it like interesting? Or he was like
He said
interesting.
not yet, A or something.
Did he say
Wait,
not yet?
Which was
Yeah,
the last line?
Yeah,
right?
when he was on top and he was like outside of his
He
Titan.
said not yet. I think something.
This
Okay.
can I start? Let me start
Oh,
this
you
one.
start.
All right. So number one is Armin. All right. So the main reasons is, you know that scene where he's talking to Bertold, the psychological like warfare that he's posing on Bertold.
Wait, who did you say your number one is?
Armin,
Okay.
like when he's talking to Bertold and
Yeah.
he's like, almost like
He sacrificed all everything.
Yeah.
His caring nature almost.
yeah, almost he sacrificed his caring layer to talk to Bertold.
But he
into
tricked.
doing what he wants.
He
It was
tricked
like a
Bertolt.
manipulative strategy,
Yeah.
but it shows how adaptable he is as well.
Yeah.
Armin is very adaptable. If people didn't realize, he's very adaptable.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
What's your favorite utilitarian?
So who would Mikasa was number one last season?
Yeah, she's gone down. I'll elaborate on that. He was instrumental. Armin was instrumental in piecing information about the Titans, right? This whole season. Second for me is Erwin, right? The greatest scene, one of the greatest scenes I had in this season was him losing his arm, but not his will.
Yeah.
He lost his arm. He was in the Titan. He's like, I don't matter. Go charge at the enemy.
You said advance.
It's like I'm not saying the exact
Yeah, I know.
dialogues. I'm just
I
trying
was
to
just-
relax there, buddy. Anyway,
I
yeah. So
relax,
he's
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
And then the next thing he did was when he stood up to the military police.
Yeah.
That was a great scene because that shows you his loyalties lie with something that's greater than
That was
him.
last season,
The
right?
mission is greater than even him, even himself. The mission is greater than even him. It's insane, right? You don't get characters like that often. Third is obviously Mikasa, right? For me, just
I don't know, obviously, but yeah.
yeah, well,
she's
if
kinda-
you-
yeah.
I love her. If you couldn't tell, right? I love that character. Her confession to Aaron, which I'll talk about a bit later as well. Her confession to Aaron at that final scene about how she truly likes him. That was great. Her just playing that comforting role, but at the same time being absolutely savage, right? And being able to kill anything that's around her when required. I love the fact that she's like that. It's amazing.
All right. So number one, we have Eren. We all once again we're all
Surprise.
we're all literally Eren, right? We don't know what's going on. We're in the puzzle. We're out of the puzzle.
Yeah.
We don't know. But just his character, I think, as later on in the season, the scenes we had of him, it just created more intrigue and more connection to him, because it shows that there's big things coming for him, and I think that's just the potential of what he can be is the most riveting thing for me right now.
Yeah.
Number two, the second character is actually Reina. Right? I think before we found that he's a Titan, I think I didn't really pay attention that much to him. Obviously,
He
he
haven't
was...
paid attention to anyone but Aaron.
Facts.
No. As in, like, obviously I knew who he was, what he was doing. But I think now there's a lot more intrigue, especially with the internal battle he has now as well, and understanding why he is the way he is. And he's actually learning about why he's doing what he's doing. That he's a very interesting character, and even just the formation of his actual Titan is my favorite. I think he's got the sickest Titan.
Facts.
So he's my number two,
Yep.
and then number three is Mr. Armin. I think I had him at number two last season, and he's gone down to 3 this season. I think it's still the intrigue in these first 2 seasons. Still, I don't think definitively we know what any character actually is. We don't know anything about any character. So right now, I'm also going on based on which characters I see with the most potential of a story, of a character arc that I can be most connected with.
Why is it Connie Springer in there then?
Yeah, why is it? You talked about Connie Springer so
Yeah,
much.
Connie's-
You're letting him down now.
I could have tossed a turn between Connie and Armin at number 3, but I think the way I've gone with these three characters is who's shown me the most, the glimpses of that I can think, oh crap, this character had an insane character. I now understand. I really feel them.
So is that why you don't have Erwin ever in your top 5 or top 3?
No,
Because you don't feel like you know him well enough.
I don't feel connected to Erwin at all.
Alright.
Fair enough.
My number 1, still number 1. Oh no, they've moved up.
Yeah.
Erwin-
Levi was your number one.
Yeah, it was Levi, Aaron, then these two, Erwin, Armin. I'm still putting them together, right?
Yeah.
Because, they are.
So Erwin Armin is
Symbol-
number 1.
Yeah, Erwin/Armin is like they are symbols,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They represent those wings how it should be represented.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
They are the masterminds behind everything. That's what's so beautiful about them, and they almost do it in their own way. Yet they're so similar, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yet they're so different, you mean?
yeah, no, yet they're so similar. They do different. They lead in their different ways, but they're so similar in that sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like they're both strategists, but like one is almost stone cold.
Yeah.
I feel like Armin is learning. He has to kind of lean into that a little bit, but I think we talked about this. He still can't let go of that caring nature.
Yeah.
Right? He might have to eventually sacrifice it one day, but I don't think he ever will.
Yeah. They're both strategists in their own right, like in their own way, like you said.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And then number 2 was a toss-up for me, right?
Yeah.
It was... I put Historia, and it's for the reasons why Rowan put Raina second.
Yeah.
Like, you know how you mentioned how Ryan is finding himself? That was the same thing with her, right? She was almost putting on a facade the whole time. I was going to put the Ymir / Historia, because that dynamic itself is like almost a character.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Ymir helped Historia find herself, and like Historia helped Ymir, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, those two characters are so much more prevalent in this season as well.
Yeah.
Her whole backstory, who she was, like, it also ties into the plot. Like, she was a big character for me, and number 3 I had Raina as well.
Yeah.
Right? For similar reasons. But it was like, I kind of understand it more, right?
Yeah.
Like, season 2, episode 6, it was a big, oh my god. But then we saw him in the branches. I feel like those backstory episodes were really important.
Okay.
But yeah.
Alright.
For mine, I resonated with what both of you said. So about Raina, like, I feel like on a second watch, Raina is such an intriguing character. It's crazy because there's things that you can only pick up on if you're a second time watcher, like about his internal struggles. Like, you guys wouldn't have realized it because you just think he's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
But for example, like when Connie goes to his village and Raina's like, "Oh, I'll come with you. I'll help you out."
Yeah.
That's him in his soldier persona. That's him being legitimate. He's being genuine there.
Yeah.
He's like, "I will come help you out."
Yeah.
And then they get to the hometown, right?
Yeah.
And then Connie goes, Raina asks something to Connie, and then Connie goes, "Oh, my hometown's destroyed."
Yeah.
And Raina hears that word hometown, right? And then he flips. He switches straight away. So then when Connie goes and sees supposedly his mother as a Titan, Raina's trying to, what Rowan said, Raina's trying to like get him off that topic. He's trying to like change his focus.
It's almost like a bipolar, like...
Yeah, it's like personality, like he has different personalities, right?
Yeah.
Even before the actual reveal happened in episode 6. So there's a moment where Aaron's like walking away from them, right? Like before Aaron walks away, Ryan is like in his soldier persona still. He's like, he goes, "Oh, I've nearly died twice, like that one time with Annie," stuff like that. He's still a soldier.
Yeah.
And then Aaron starts walking away, and then Aaron says, "Oh, you guys have been driven far enough away from your hometown," or something like that.
His
Yeah.
hometown,
And then
man.
he hears that word hometown again,
Yeah.
and then there's like he gasps, and then there's like a scene where it like shows his reflection, almost like it's showing his true self.
Bro, we need to...
Right?
Yeah.
And then after he hears that, he's like, he switches back to his warrior side, right? And then you guys notice how he just casually asks Aaron, like, "Oh," he casually tells him like, "Oh, we broke the walls and you should just come with us." He just casually asks him, right?
Yeah, that was so...
That's warrior Raina
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, my soldier side, like his soldier side, right? Him and Aaron are really close."
Yeah.
So he just expects his friend to just go along with
to
it. You know what I mean?
understand it,
to
Just understand, be like,
That's-
"Oh,
yeah.
he'll listen to me." But warrior Raina just casually says it, and then you know.
It's like he doesn't even
These
believe
things
he's
you
putting on
will-
a facade. It's like, it's him. That's him.
Like,
the
these things-
facade is him.
You will not pick up on this on the first
It's
time.
almost like, you know when you're a Titan, you don't actually know you're a Titan, you eat someone until you become awoken.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened to him.
Yeah.
It's like he ate his first human almost,
Yeah.
right after he told Aaron that, and it's like, oh my god, it all hit him again.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
discussed this as well. Like, it's how he copes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like he's
coping,
very
yeah.
intriguing.
Yeah, the coping is insane.
My second is
Coping.
Ymir. Whatever Buraj said,
Yeah.
basically I resonate with that. Like, I think they really developed that relationship between Ymir and Chris, like, even more so than like Aaron and Mikasa, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that relationship,
100%,
they
I agree.
developed. They
I
spent
agree.
so much time developing that, and yeah, because like she had a very tragic past,
Yeah.
but she was always a good person. Like she saved Daz, she saved them from that tower falling.
Yeah.
She, in the end, she went back with Ryan and Bertolt because she didn't want them to return empty-handed. Yeah, she's a very interesting character. And my final one is Erwin, just his conviction and his confidence.
Just him.
Yeah.
Just
He's
him, yeah.
Just him.
My arm may be lost, but not my will. That is.
Yeah, that scene was insane, man. Alright, let's go into the top 3 moments.
Oh, okay. I'll start this one. Yeah.
Alright.
So number 1 for me has to be is Mikasa's confession to
Has
Aaron.
to be is crazy.
Confession to Aaron.
Has
Someone
to.
in the comments on the Patreon I saw said he was trying to hold back his tears. I was so trying to hold back my tears, I'll be honest. Like, that scene, I was so moved. Like, the silence and the way the dialogue played out and the music. But all of that was so good. That's number one for me, right? Purely also because I love Mikasa so much. That's first. Second is Armin's psychological tactics against Berthold. That was amazing. Like, the way they animated his eyes, we keep going back to this, but it was insane for me to look at Armin in that light. I just thought it was amazing about how, like, adaptable he was as a person. That was amazing. Third is obviously Reina and Berthold's reveal, when they just casually tell Eren, like what you were saying, let's just go to our hometown, and they reveal their identity. Yeah. I have not seen a turn like that in any TV show in, like, forever.
So my question to you is, how is that not better than Armin going up to Berthold? How is that not better?
Because Armin, for me, as a character, I'm very emotionally invested in him, more so than Reina and Berthold. Like, watching him in that light.
But just that pure moment.
Yeah, just that pure moment. Because I wouldn't expect that from Armin. I'll be real.
But you expected that from Ryan and Berthold.
No, I didn't. But I just hold that better because of my attachment to the character. Because remember, that's why it's high. So that's top 3 scenes.
What was your third one?
Third one was Reina and Berthold's reveal.
Okay, my top 3 were... Number 1 was Eren on the tree with all the lads, and after getting kidnapped.
Wait, after what?
After they all get kidnapped.
And the backstory.
And they're at the branch. Like, that conversation on the branch.
The Yap Fest.
The Yap Fest. Yeah. That was actually... that was an interesting Yap Fest to listen to.
Because they revealed some stuff.
They revealed some stuff. Yeah. And then also... Like,
favorite moment is crazy, but yeah.
I was just about to say. He just wanted Eren was confused and he
Eren on a branch is his favorite moment.
You know what his favorite moment was? When he had corn and he started jumping. That's his favorite moment.
Eren on a branch. Season 2 with so much to see. Eren on a branch.
And then this is like scenes. The top 3 scenes. All right. It's not like anyway.
Moments.
Moments. Number 2 was Eren crying after Hannes died, and then the Mikasa scene.
Was he crying?
Like, the scream.
He was.
Like the scream, the rawness of that scene.
Where he was doubting himself as well a little bit.
Yeah, like that whole scene, the whole like 10 minutes or however long that was when like all that happened. And then like just him unleashing the power and then him running off. Like that whole like moment was just... And the crazy thing about that, they didn't put any sound or nothing over that. Especially, it was just, you could just hear his...
Especially Mika's scene with Eren as well.
Even just when he was screaming, bro, it was just a raw... That voice actor, whoever that geezer is...
he's crazy,
bro,
man.
That would have been a crazy scene to film. Because no sound, nothing. That was... I felt
his
that.
His voice must have been gone.
Yeah, I felt that. And then number 3... Don't come at me here. Actually, this is me like coming out of my ways, but... The one where you said where Erwin's giving the scene with his arm.
Finally, he's opening up.
No, that's a top 3 moments of respect in history. Like that, I can respect
top
that.
10 football
you know, top 10 football moments in history. This is top 3 respect moments.
Just the worst jokes in the world.
That was a massive respect when he was like, I don't give a like.
I don't think you said that, but he's making up lines.
It's like someone else can do my job. I cannot be.
Oh no, man, that's not what he said.
He did say that.
No, he said
putting words in his mouth.
He said Eren cannot be replaced, but I can be replaced, right?
Mission is greater than me. That's what it is.
Yeah, that was hard.
You don't want to do yours?
No, I'm doing my last.
Oh, I'll go.
Switch up the order.
Alright, fair enough. Alright. Number 1 is Ryan and Berthold reveal. I don't know how that's not
fact.
No, that was cool.
Just shut up. It wasn't even your top.
That was a little too nonchalant.
Be quiet.
That was a little too nonchalant.
And then the fighting that happened afterward. Yeah. Mikasa going for a head, but like everything.
He loved the coordinates. Fine, it's fine. Like the music, everything. Like I get goosebumps every time I see that scene. It's so good. Number 2 is Eren and Mikasa moment. I don't want to go into it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me was. Wait, what did you say your number 2 was? Like
Armin's psychological tactics.
Okay, mine was a little bit before that. So you know the scene between Jean, Connie, and Berthold when they're like reminiscing about like their days in the academy.
Oh yeah.
And then Bertold's like, "Oh, someone please find us."
Yeah.
I think that was like a crazy moment. Like that was like really emotional. I feel like
it was like him actually coming out.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost like him saying, "You guys need to understand our perspective," almost. You know? And yeah, you see like on the one hand, you see these characters. You see these characters like Jean and Connie who've been betrayed.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have this like insane guilt. You know, like it's
and he was like, imagine what we've gone through being with you guys for 3 years, having to fake it all.
Yeah. There's emotions on both sides.
Juxtaposition.
Yeah, you go.
Number 1 is the betrayal. Don't know how it's not the betrayal.
That's like we all knew it.
We all knew it is crazy.
No, as in, like we all. That's all our good favorite moments. Like I had to come up with. I want to come up
you
with
want to be
something-
different.
Yeah, he
I
wants
wanna
to be
be
different. He
different.
likes being different.
Aaron's
Yeah.
different.
Oh, yeah, shut up.
Aaron's
It's his
different. I'm
moment.
different.
It's his moment. It's his moment.
Me and Aaron are both 1 off 1.
You know.
Number 2, none of these. I put 2 scenes, but they don't relate with
Bro,
each
why
other.
do you love putting? It's
Because I don't care if it's top 3. I need 4.
Alright, just go on.
2
Let him cook.
is Ymir transforming,
Yeah.
right, and that whole Historia thingy. And number 2 is obviously Erwin. Not the arm advancing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was the scene before that. What Roland was trying to say. Him saying, "It doesn't matter if I die. This has got to keep on going." Like that's just who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
mission.
that's top 3 respect moments in Attack on Titan
Fact.
history.
And then number 3 is Hannes dying, right?
hey yo.
Yo. My boy Hannes.
It's an impactful moment, yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy moment. Like
Rest
relates to
Rest in peace, man.
facts.
I
like,
loved Hannes.
That was it. I feel like there was like a silence there because the body just got dismembered.
Yeah.
It was almost like when the mum died. The exact backdrop of when the mum like, it was just history. Like it was a moment of despair. Aaron was like,
And it was
"Nothing's
also a moment
happened."
of vengeance. Think about it. He was fighting the Titan that he was not courageous enough to fight.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole lead up. But like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like. It was a scene where this exact same backdrop of when Aaron's mum died and Hannes died, right? It's the exact same. It was like we're 2 seasons in, basically finished season 2. What has changed?
Nothing.
It was like that. It
Oh,
was like,
that's actually a very good way.
Nothing
to
has
say it.
it's like what has changed?
Yeah.
And then Aaron's power came out. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
something
and
has
now
changed.
stuff will change.
Alright. Is there any negatives you guys want to bring up about the season?
I'll start it off.
Yeah, you start. Yeah.
Basically, I'm taking the Rowan approach.
Yeah.
I need a bit more Levi and Aaron, right? Because listen. I love me some side characters. I love me a bit of Sasha, a bit of Connie.
Yeah.
I might piss a few people off here, right?
Yeah.
Didn't really care about those episodes as much. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like,
That's fair.
sure, Connie going to his hometown, that was special, but it wasn't because of
No,
him.
only
It was
way
because the mama transformed.
only way it's going to be worth it is if we see a one. But you know what it is? I think that's a bit of a foreshadowing moment because I don't think you would have an episode for Sasha if she's not going to be important, or you're not going to show Connie's
No, but
family.
it might be the build. It might be for the build up of the show, not because she's important. It might be the show.
Yeah, bro, she's got a whole episode
listen,
in a
watching-
jam-packed season just for her. Like that's
The thing about
But
ridiculous.
it was showing the show and the scenario they're in. It's
Think
not
about it, if they
her.
make Sasha important, right, and Aaron saves her from the Titan or something, that moment's even elevated even more, made Aaron look even better now.
Like, even if they've maybe Sasha's a very important character.
Yeah.
I don't, like the way they brought her up is different to the way they brought Aaron up, for example,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm just not as connected with it. Like you said, you're very connected with Armin,
Yeah.
right? Because of the things he's gone, things he said. Like I don't see how Sasha becomes important.
Because look, think about it, Sasha's the anchor of the show. She's like
Whoa.
she's like the main character that shows the humane side of all of
John, what?
I don't know about humane. I think
Jean.
it's just more light-hearted
this.
side.
Light-hearted human side of it.
It's not like
the
her dad's-
food,
human
the
is Jean.
humble beginnings that she comes from, all that
They
sort
all
of stuff.
come from Hunter.
Maybe a little bit.
They're all
No,
in
she-
Shiganshina, bro.
No, she comes from we saw a family who was
They're just
firsthand.
hunter-gatherers.
Firsthand, we saw that, and it gives a good human insight into it. I think she's the best humane character on the show.
Jean by far.
You know what I think is an improvement that they should
What?
make. They've got to do something with Mikasa's character. Something
Yeah,
something interesting's going to happen with it. It's the same shit being repeated every time.
Gonna bring that up.
It's the same shit. Like obviously, I want her to kiss Eren and I want her to make love to him. But realistically,
Even the fact that Hannes died and she was sort of
Bro,
still like
bro,
Aaron.
bro,
Like, it was
bro,
a
so I
bit-
want to see either get pissed off and actually do something dramatic and insane, or like it's just to say every time Mikasa comes on, we already kind of know what she's gonna feel, what she's
That's
saying.
why she went down on my list as well. They didn't really showcase a different side to her this season.
And
It
I
was the
think
same thing.
another improvement is low key. Probably the way they've done it is they kind of just they haven't answered anything yet, and that's an improvement, but it's also not because it's going to create intrigue for this next 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I didn't
It's also
mind.
it's a tad bit rushed, a little bit. Oh,
No, I
No,
disagree.
I don't think
But
so.
Honestly, more last because that was one of the negatives I had last season. They posed too many questions. I didn't mind that this season. Like that, I wouldn't say that's a negative for this season.
I don't know about Rush, but I do agree that they might have given a little bit too much info. That was one of my negatives. It's like there's a lot of exposition and there's a lot of flashbacks, which is like
There's so much.
But I think having the perspective of watching the whole show, it's necessary. So that's the only reason because it's a pretty complex
First of all,
show.
There's rewatch
Yeah,
values insane.
but
For me, the main improvement is I want more emphasis on the Titan perspective. Like, I know they've been talking about Titans, oh, this guy's bad, that guy's bad. We're vilifying these characters, and now we're slowly resonating with him. Like, for example, Reyna. We haven't completely, vilified or cancelled him in this season because he's a Titan, right? Like we're still like, oh, what's his intention? We're still trying to find more. I would have loved to see more perspective on Titans and what they're thinking is a little bit more. Like that build up would have helped us get an idea on what season 3 is going to be like even better.
And also, for example, I think it's a little bit overwhelming as well because, for example, they ended season 1 with a Titan eye on the wall, and literally the whole season we didn't find out anything about it.
Yeah.
It's it's
True.
bro. It's a little bit overwhelming.
It's not over. I feel
It
like
is, bro. We don't actually know anything.
This is still just the start of the story. You guys have finished the part 2 of the prologue, basically.
Yeah.
So
I
now
would've liked-
season 3, we get into it.
I would have liked sprinkles of like just a little bit of detail on the Titan side of things, just a little bit more perspective on what they do. That's why.
But basically, we're still in the intro phase.
The thing is, they have given it little sprinkles, but it's only if you watch it for a second time you'll realize them. But
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's rate the season 2.
Okay.
What did you guys rate season 1? Do you remember?
9, I think I said.
Did I say 8.9?
Everyone
No,
write
that
it
was
down.
your episode.
Everyone write
Which
it
is still
down.
criminal, by the way.
I didn't really like that episode that much. There was
Alright,
other
wait.
episodes I liked.
That was number one moment was from that episode,
Yeah,
but it was
just because one moment makes it.
All right,
good doesn't
everyone
make
write down
the
your
whole
rating so
episode
you don't
good.
change it. Everyone write it down so you don't change it.
I've written it down.
I've already got it in my head.
All right, let's start with Biraj.
9.2.
9.5.
9.6.
Is all that better than season 1?
Yeah, way better.
What was your favorite episode from season 2?
Reveal where Bertolt and Raina come out.
It wasn't even it was your third moment. Alright.
But the whole episode leading up to it was crazy.
So what would you rate that individual episode out of 10 then?
9.6 maybe. 9.6. Yeah, 9.6. That episode was crazy for me. Just the reveal. I was so starstruck. It was insane. Just the shock value of it was insane. Yeah,
9.5. What was your favorite episode?
The last one.
What would you rate that? 9.2?
9.7.
7, that's it. Yeah, you rated it.
Rated at 9.7. I think in this season, I liked every episode besides probably that Sasha episode 2. All the other episodes was...
I'm gonna clown us for hating it. I'm here for it.
I think it's fair.
I'm here for it.
I didn't really like Ymir's backlog too much. Like
That's crazy.
It was alright. I didn't think anything. It was special. I liked Sasha's story more than Ymir's. I don't know.
Wait, which backlog? The king?
Like how she's on the throne and like
Oh.
I know it was detail packed.
But I feel like that's with the theory though.
Bro,
Well,
no,
not
do
theory,
you
the
think a
plot.
little bit as an like not an improvement, but the whole Ymir Krista thing was a little dragged. It's probably important,
No.
but it was a little bit dragged at times.
I didn't really feel a
actually,
connection.
you know what,
You didn't connect with them.
I didn't connect with them at all.
Exactly.
I don't know why. I connected with Krista a little bit. Ymir and their dynamic. I just didn't.
So,
don't
like,
know.
you know how you had that perspective on Raina? Why didn't you have that with Historia?
Because no, for example, I had that little bit of history. I think Ymir a little bit. She's a little bit.
There's not much dialogue. with
It's
her.
not. I
more-
wouldn't call it a victim mentality.
I know what you mean.
I'd call it a little bit of. I think victim mentality is too strong, but it's also she wants to.
Attention.
I agree. She's had a hard life. She's had hard circumstances, but I think
it's like an excuse.
It's almost at times it can be seen as an excuse where she wants sympathy, and she's.
I just don't like the fact.
I don't agree with any of that.
No,
Okay.
I don't like the fact that she conceals her intentions so much. It's like just be who you are and wear it a little bit more.
She's the one telling Historia to be who they are. She's the one who told Sasha.
No,
to
but
be
she's
who-
not herself. That's completely hypocritical. Because like the way she cares about Historia, she never tells her why. She never gives her reason. She never even comforts her. She always just always cryptic about it.
But
Which
there's
is
a
weird.
lot of people.
assumes her to understand how she feels, and I know
There's a lot of people like that, though, in the
with
show.
Yeah, I know,
with
but
Ymir,
I
I think
just don't like
I think
that.
Ymir herself is not what she sees that she isn't. She wants Historia to be that.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
That was a tongue twister.
No,
That
it's because she wants Historia to be herself.
Yeah, she
because
wants
she isn't.
She wants it because she.
Oh, yeah, she sees herself in- yeah.
Ymir battles her internal she has an internal conflict, but almost like a daughter figure to Historia. She's like, look, I've struggled with this in
She's
my
a
life.
mother figure, you mean.
A mother figure, sorry. I don't want you to experience what I've experienced with the internal battle I have with myself. So I want you to be the best version of yourself.
very true.
To embrace
She
yourself.
wants her to live a true life.
Yeah, because she herself has struggled with that,
And she's the potential of-
accepting who that is. So I think she has a great heart, Ymir, but I think sometimes the way it's showcased is a little bit. It's almost like a little bit like
It's
a
too
victim
cryptic.
mentality.
I think it's just too cryptic.
A little
I
bit,
don't
yeah.
like the cryptic.
I don't think it's cryptic. I like the victim mentality. Like that. It's an excuse for everything. It's like, oh well, my whole life I've been lying to myself. May as well go and do it again.
But here's the thing: that victim mentality and her not telling Krista that there might actually be a valid reason for it as well.
I agree. But
So if there is a valid reason,
feel like
which
it
I
kind of
think
is
there is,
with
which
the
I think there is,
With the upbringing.
yeah.
yeah, not just upbringing, like maybe like the government, like you know how she was working with Nick and them, like all those guys. Like there was a scene about her talking to Nick about how she overheard Nick talking about Krista being important.
Oh, in the church, and she's like,
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Like
That's how she knows.
She didn't talk to them.
she overheard the conversation.
She
right?
overheard that there was someone like her with the same fate as her, basically. Someone who's been hated by the world.
Yeah.
And
And
she's an illegitimate child.
Yeah.
She got
Yeah.
like dragged into this
Survey.
Yeah.
cadet. So she basically
but
joined
at the start,
force.
you know how she said she joined it because she was selfish and she wanted like Krista to be the ace of spades almost to get her out of situations.
Yeah.
That's what she said, right? So at the start, it was a complete selfish thing how like she wants to be on her side, and like over time she began to care for her, right? So there's probably a valid reason why she's not like telling her everything full on. She has at the end, but at the start she was probably like.
I think we've done a good job now. I think it's time for all these stuff to get answered, Loki.
Yeah. There's too many questions.
Is there any more questions, or is that?
No, that's it. Okay.
I think the way it's been structured now, they've given everything to us. Now, hopefully, in season 3, it starts to get answered.
Yeah.